there you are. Hey, we got stuff. I got lots of stuff here. Went up to Cedar Rapids, Iowa to Acme Tool. That's where I bought all this for my upgrade in the shop here. This is, of course, a Sawstop table saw, the 3-horse PCS model with the mobile base. And I'll kind of go over here what all is in this pile. And we have, in no particular order, and by the way, Sawstop didn't give this to me. I had to buy this. Downdraft dust collection box, that goes under the router lift, the 4-post router lift, the cast iron table insert for the router lift, the Sawstop industrial motor base with a PCS mobile base conversion, the 27-inch inline iron router table, Sawstop dado lock insert, dado lock cartridge, a spare blade brake cartridge, and of course the 10-inch 3-horsepower table saw, 36-inch model. I also bought this router. It's a DW618, and it was actually cheaper for me to buy this complete kit here with the base and the plunge base, even though I'm not going to be using them, than it was to just buy the router motor. This was a sale thing. Plus there's a plastic case with it, so can't complain about that. So I did save a little money by going to Iowa and not buying this in Illinois, because the sales tax over there is cheaper. So what did I spend here? $6,620.08. Plus my gas going up there and back, which was not bad. It's an hour and 20-minute drive each way. And the weather was nice, and I didn't need to pay the $325 handling charge. So now I need to get all this unpacked and figure out how I'm going to get this all put together by myself, because they recommend that you have 2 people. Well, I work alone, and actually when I work alone I prefer to be by myself. So need to get some stuff unpacked, find the instruction manuals and assembly manuals and hardware and all that kind of good stuff. I'm not going to do this by every little nut and bolt and everything, but I kind of show a few tips, I guess, or things that they illustrate, especially since I'm doing this by myself. So one of the first things I needed to do after I got everything unpacked here was you take the top piece of styrofoam, which I've got laying over here. In the theory, I say theory because I'm by myself, is to roll this saw 90 degrees onto that styrofoam over there, and then I can put the base on. They tell you if you have the base to put it on before you stand the saw up, and that makes a lot of sense because it'd be really difficult to do afterwards. So we're going to give this a shot here. It gives you a couple of points where you can grab on and lift and try to roll this. Well, that wasn't too bad, I guess. Need to get it off of the pallet though the rest of the way. Well, that should give me enough at the bottom down there to put the base on. Just need to get rid of this pallet now and make some space. Okay, next little tip for when you go to put your base on, if provided you're using one, is you will need to raise this up a little bit on the little shipping things they had in the crate right there, just about the right height. That sets it up here where it's supposed to be, and everything lines up here good. I just need to get the little screws to put into the side. And now the theory is to stand it up. Yeah, it's going to be something. Yep, feeling badass today. Okay, there's a waxy paper that is soaked with oil that's going to need to be removed, and then the oil wiped off. And we'll have to do the same thing with the wings that go on here. So this is, will kind of make a mess out of your hands. We just take a rag and wipe that down. I'm not going to get all serious about really scrubby dubbing it down until I get ready to put my wax finish on it. I'll just get the majority of the oil off. And you're going to have to do the same thing on the wings. Get them unpacked, get the paper off of them, get most of the oil wiped off. One really nice thing that Sawstop has done, and a lot of manufacturers need to take a lesson from this. I've put a lot of things together in very mechanical. I don't generally have a problem assembling things, but I know some people do. That's why a lot of my videos are so detailed on like assembling a laser or a heat press or 3D printer. But here, everything is very clearly labeled about what it is for, where it goes, and the instruction book also is very, very well written. It's not in what I call English or Chinesium or some of the other languages that sometimes that's called. It's all very, very clearly written, and it's very detailed. So my next step here will be to put the wings on, and of course you don't need to watch me put nuts and bolts in, but everything is labeled here, what goes where. Okay, next little tip here for the DA wire that's by themselves, putting this together. If you put a socket for those screws, which is 13 M&Ms, and you happen to have a universal like this, it'll make it a whole lot easier to tighten these bolts up. And you could also do it if you have a ratcheting box end, but I found that since I needed to be able to look out here with my straight edge and be able to tighten the bolts up too, this made it easier. I didn't have to be underneath the table. Also, for holding this while you're by yourself, you don't have any help to have somebody hold the ends, clamps. Once you get up there close, get your straight edge up there, put the clamps on it, you can get everything all lined up and tighten her down. Next helpful little tip is when you're mounting the switch box, they do give you a Allen wrench to do that with. If you have one of these, it's 4 M&Ms. A little 4mm straight driver will make it a lot easier because that's kind of an awkward spot to get to. And then you can use the L on that to give it the final crank down to get it good and tight. To get the screws started and run them in, this makes it a lot easier. Just a little tip. Okay, unwrapping the router table right here. That will be an adventure because the router table here, the cast iron part, is a box inside a box, which is inside another box. So, yeah, it's kind of like Christmas, although this is actually Christmas Eve. But it does come with a manual. It's up underneath there, and of course it's oily. I'll need to get that all cleaned up. But I just wanted to kind of give you a little heads up on having to open a box inside a box inside a box. Another little helpful tip here, if you're doing this by yourself and you're putting the router table on here like I did, you've got the intermediate cast iron insert. Putting that on is no big deal. You do have to have the side rails on. These are not set yet, they're just sitting there. Make sure you orient this the right direction. If you put it in backwards, you're going to be taking it off, putting it on again. So that's why it's good to have the side rails on so you know where that hole is. On this table, once that's all assembled, to put that on there is a two-person job, except I'm by myself. So what did I do? I took the bolts, which are rather long, and stuck them out this way, 2 of them. So then when I walked this part in, I could walk them over those 2 bolts, and that would hold this until I got everything else in there. So that's the way you can do it by yourself. So now I need to work on getting my fence rails and everything set up in a line. Don't put these on backwards. There's the illustration. They give you a poster, actually. Give you a poster. Shows you how to do it. You want to make sure that you have this beveled in here, like a little cut end, and then that's on the front rail, and then on the back rail it has a bevel. You want to make sure that's to the right hand side. If you would happen to reverse it, you're going to be taking it off and doing it over. Hey, it's actually starting to look like a table saw. There's a lot to putting this together, especially when you do the extension and the intermediate cast iron wing and then the router table. I have not put the router lift in here yet. I'm going to do that here next. I got everything adjusted here. I've got things more or less calibrated. I checked everything being parallel and straight and all that kind of good stuff. So now I'm going to move on to the router lift. This is going to sit over here in this hole. This saw is surprisingly easy to move around on this industrial base on here. It's got a hydraulic jack on it, and you pump it up a little bit, and this is very, very easy to roll around. I am really happy with it. It's way easier to roll around than the saw I had in here before, and this actually probably weighs more than that one did, because there's a lot more cast iron on this one. One of the things you need to do with the router lift is to remove the factory lubricant that's on the chain and the screws with some solvent. What I use is brake clean. And then you need to put a dry lube on it, and this is the same dry lube I use on my CNCs. It's made by WD-40. That keeps sawdust and stuff from sticking all over everything. You can also use CRC's dry moly lube, which will also work just as well. It's a lot more expensive. Another little tip here is if you are going to use the downdraft enclosure for dust collection under the router lift, put the router lift in and do all the assembly on that and get it leveled and all the little screws tightened down and jam nuts set and everything before you put the downdraft box on. It'll make it a lot easier to work on things. And a little assembly tip on putting the dust collection box together is don't tighten all the screws up till you've got them all started. They all do line up, but you'll get a little wonky if you tighten one down and one corner down and then the next one doesn't line up, but I found that out. So it's a little tip. Okay, on day 3 of this assembly operation, and what we have here now is a router fence. And if you saw my previous setup, I actually had my router fence mounted on the side of my table saw fence. I would slide it all the way to the right, and I may make something like that again here. I don't know. We'll wait and see. The dust collection, I've made a few changes to where the port was on the box to better match where my dust collector is back there. Of course, I've still got those hoses to run, but otherwise everything here is now assembled. What I am missing though is with my previous saw and everything that I had custom built was storage drawers. I don't have that now. And the other thing I need to get used to is this is substantially shorter than my other saw, because when I custom built that saw, I built it for my height. I'm 6'3", so therefore I don't need something low, but I'll get used to this. It's not a problem. And I'm thinking of building an assembly table to use, since I no longer have that now, that will actually slide over the top of this table saw, of course with the guard off of it. That would be about the right height for me to work and assemble things. So I think that might work out pretty well. It'll be a big space saver, so then when I'm not using it, I can just roll it over the top. So there it is, the next addition to the changes I'm making in the shop. I need to get my dust collection system worked out here yet, and I've got a table of stuff I got to put away here. My next thing I'm going to do here is I'll take everything off the top of this. I'll wash the top down with spirits of dead minerals, mineral spirits. And then I'll be putting several coats of paste wax on this. And yes, I know there's other things you can use, but I've used Johnson's paste wax forever, and I've got several cans of it because I stocked up. So I'll be using that, several coats of that, make sure we don't get any rust on here. Then I got to keep my buddies from setting their beers on here. Had that problem with the other saw. They like to set their can of beer on there. No, don't do that. So that being said, I know a lot of people have said, oh, you know, this is a waste of money, you're wasting your money. Well, I'll tell you what, this is my money, not yours, and I'll spend it any the hell way I want to. And this is what I wanted to upgrade to, and this is what I've done. And hopefully you got a few tips out of putting yours together if you're buying one of these. Again, this wasn't a bolt-by-bolt assembly here, but I wanted to show you little tricks and things when you are doing something like this and you're by yourself. So if you got anything out of this, appreciate getting a thumbs up, always helps the channel. I'm Roger in the shop, and no, this is not sponsored, this was bought. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.